Welcome to Digital Marketing Canvas, your one-stop destination to explore the latest happenings, strategies, tools, techniques, and case studies in the digital marketing domain. I'm your host Prince Kumar, and we have Abigail Gatling, the founder of Chris Communication, with us today. Through her business, Chris Communications, she offers outsourced, bespoke, and beautiful marketing and communication designs to grow business. Chris is currently celebrating being nominated a finalist in the 2023 Sunshine Coast Business Award. Hi Abigail, a warm welcome on our show.
Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. No, definitely we are excited, and the main reason was because of the topic, which is that we are going to discuss, and it is about the step-by-step plan for social media campaign, which is very important topic for all the social media listeners out there. So to start our conversation of today, can you just let the audience know a bit about your background, about your corporate journey, and how you step into the social media world?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a bit of a weird journey to get to where I am now. As you mentioned before, I'm the founder of Chris Communications, which is a marketing agency. And this is a business that I started in 2019 here in Australia. And I really started this business because I was in a career that was lacking creativity. And I just had this inner desire to try and express myself. So I'd somehow gotten into this career path where I just did teaching outside of school. I finished high school and went into teaching at university just because someone suggested I do it. I didn't really have a passion for it. And I got 2 years into my degree and I realized, teaching's not quite for me, but I do love talking. I love educating. So I went into adult education, workplace training, that put me on a whole new career of working for the government and universities and things like that. And I just got, 8 to 10 years into my career and I just realized, hey, this is not for me. This is not filling my cup. I need to do something about it. So I wanted to explore my creativity and I thought, how can I do that in the context of my career? So I got myself an internship managing social media. I taught myself graphic design. I taught myself web design. And after a couple of years of doing that on the side of my full-time job, I decided now's my time. I'm going to do it. And I launched Chris Communications.
Oh, great. So what other services do you provide? Only social media or any other services also do you provide into Chris?
Yeah, so we do provide quite a few different services. So our agency primarily works with professional services businesses. And for those who may be listening who don't know exactly what that is, professional services are people like financial planners and lawyers and accountants, those types of services. And so we primarily work with them. And for them, we do things like graphic design, we build websites, manage podcasts, and run their social media, as you mentioned. So yeah, we do a range of things.
So that means you work on a lot of services related to social media.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the topic that we have for today. So what do you think are the different objectives for which generally the brands should plan for the social media campaign? What are the different objectives that they should be targeting?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you've led with this question because I think having objectives is so important when it comes to social media. So as I mentioned before, we work with a lot of different businesses with their social media. Our specialty is organic content marketing on social media. And when people come to us and they say, Abigail, we need help with our social media, I go, great, what do you want to do? And they go, I want engagement. I want to go viral. That's what they say to me. And I go, okay, that's great. I mean, everyone wants to go to viral, right? But I always go, actually, let's think about why you want to be on social media. What is the purpose for you being on social media? Because I think a lot of the time there are all these vanity metrics on socials where they are the shiny eye-catching things where and people are like, "Ooh, that's nice, I want to focus on that." But they are not the things you should be focusing on. They're not the objectives you should be focusing on your social media. The real objectives and goals that you focus on when you're doing your social media strategy should align with your wider marketing goals. So whatever else you're doing in marketing outside of social media, and then your marketing plan has to align with a wider business plan and what you're working towards in that space as well.
Got it. Got it. So, just one question that was coming to my mind. When the client comes upon and they say that, I want my campaign to go viral. So, what is the reply to them? What is the general reply that you give to them?
Okay, that's very nice. Why? Why do you want to do that? And I say, okay, what are you looking to achieve here? For example, do you want new leads in your business? Do you want better quality leads? Perhaps you're getting lots of leads into your business, new clients coming in the door, but they're not the right type of clients for your business. Maybe you want more referrals from existing clients. Maybe you want to charge more and you want to increase the value of your services. So basically, I unpack with them, what is it you're trying to achieve in the end goal? And how is social media going to actually help you with that? So I mentioned before about vanity metrics, and that's where people are like, yeah, I want to go viral. I want to have tons of followers. I want to do this and that. They're things that they're nice, but they don't necessarily mean anything unless they're linked to your goals and objectives. So for example, the number of followers you have on your social media account may not be as important as an objective than, for example, the people clicking through on your socials to your website, and then from your website to book a call with you. So when you're actually where you're actually going ahead and you're planning your objectives, I tell people to take a step back, think about the wider picture, and then we go from there and see how social media can support that rather than doing it the other way around.
Definitely. Yeah. That's the right way that we should be planning. Now, coming back to our campaign planning that we were discussing about. So definitely you have given a clarity on how to select the objective. Now, before execution of this campaign, what are the different preparations that one should be doing in order to ensure that the campaign is a success? It can be in terms of the thought process, it can be in terms of research of hashtag, and any other preparation that we should be doing about. So what do you think are the different preparation strategies?
Yeah, definitely. So there are stages to running your social media campaign or your social media accounts. There is the pre-launch, there's during, and there's post-launch, and they're all really, really important. So I'm glad that you brought this up. So I think that prior to doing any social media campaign, you have to research. So you've already got your objectives and you've already figured out, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve with my social media. The next part is to research. How are we going to do it? And you do have to do your research not only before you launch, but also while you're running the campaigns as well. And when I say research, I mean getting a really, really good understanding of who your target audience is, what platform they're using, because not everyone and not every industry uses every platform. What are the issues that your ideal clients are facing? And what is the problem that your business can solve for them? This will help you plan your strategy. It'll help you plan your messaging and your content. You need to know all of this. It's not just about trying all the things and just throwing it out there and hopefully something sticks. You actually have to use research to be the foundation of your strategy.
Okay. And when you say research, so what are the different data sources by which we can get some help? Like, should we look for competitors, any past campaigns? What are the different data sources that will help us to get these data or get these, inputs?
Absolutely. So the first thing is like the research as to what platforms you should be on, and that's based on your target audience. So say, for example, my clients, financial planners, generally, they are not on Pinterest. Why? Because Pinterest has a certain demographic age for who is a typical user of that platform and what they're looking for on that platform. And my financial planning clients, their target audiences for their client, like for their target clients are, say, for example, people preparing for retirement. They want to get their finances in order for retirement. Do you think that these people may be on Pinterest? They might be, but the research says no. So the first thing is to go and actually do your research on the platform. All of the platforms out there, Pinterest, LinkedIn, all those guys, they will give reports out about their usage, their users on the platform, their age, what they're looking for, how long they're using it for, how often they're using it for. This can really help you determine where you are best to focus your resources. Now, when you're looking at the problems they're facing, sometimes this can be going and looking on socials and getting into forums, getting into groups where your clients are, and looking at the questions that they're asking. It could be like that. The other type of research could be asking your team, asking them, what are the common questions that you're being asked on the phone when people call us. You can also use things like Answer the People is a really good resource. You can go on there and you can type in your keywords and it'll tell you the types of questions that people are asking and what they're looking for when they're searching for your industry or your keywords online. So there's a few different places to find where your people are, research that, find what they're asking, and then the last part is you need to do the work on how you can solve that problem. So if people are always asking questions about, how should I structure my finances for retirement? You go, here's how you structure your finances for retirement. And you make sure that your copy is answering the question that they are asking.
Now you have given, strategy on how to do the campaign, pre-campaign planning out there. Now, what about the during and the post-campaign? What are activities we should be doing during this period to get the result that we expect?
Yeah. So marketing is not to set and forget. You don't just create this wonderful strategy, implement it, and then just sit back and relax like that. That just, unfortunately, is not the way it works. Marketing is not a perfect science, and it's not perfect because you're dealing with people, and people are different and people are unique. And so what will work for me in terms of messaging that will cut through to me will be different to what appeals to you and what will make you want to buy something. So it's about, once you implement, you have to do testing and you have to do measuring. So when I say testing, I mean try out different post types, try out videos, try out graphics, try out photos, stories, reels, try different types and see what appeals most to your audience. Think about different times and different days that you can post on. Test out those different platforms that you have been using. So you might say, I'm going to be posting on Facebook and LinkedIn and my Google profile. And then you realize really quickly, no one's looking at your Google profile. So maybe LinkedIn is the best way to post more. So using that information to kind of pivot what you're doing. And then also test out different types of content, different types of copy, length of copy, all these things. You don't know what's going to work. You can have a good idea of what might work, but you actually don't know until you start doing it. So testing all that out. And when I talk about measuring, that's actually taking a step back and going, okay, I've tried these different things. how successful has each one been? And this is where you look at the analytics. So each social media platform has inbuilt analytics in it where you can see how many people have seen your profile, how many people have seen your content, comments, likes, shares, views on your videos. This will be your best friend, because if you are testing out the same piece of content in 4 different ways, you might have one piece of content, you do a video, a graphic, a photo, and a story. Then you'll look at the analytics and you can go, oh, actually the video and the story was the most popular. Maybe we shouldn't bother doing graphics anymore. That's just an example. If you have a scheduling tool for your social media, they will also have inbuilt analytics. And once you have a look at this, that's when you can revise and refine your strategy. And you don't have to wait to the end of your campaign to do that. I think it's good to be doing it at certain checkpoints throughout your campaign so you can pivot and have the most successful campaign that you can.
Really valuable advice that you've given, and definitely like for any of the campaign, testing is the key thing that we should be doing upon, because social media is all about testing those all things. Whenever we run a campaign, we for a simple for a similar type of campaign, and then we experiment with the timings, like let's say one post we do in the morning, one in afternoon, one in the night, because many time when this also plays an important role, the time of posting that we are doing upon. Then definitely the communication that we are trying to put upon, sometimes it can be a kind of simple communication, sometimes there will be different communication, and then we experimented, okay, what all type of communications are working for us. Then based on that learning, we keep on evolving that campaign, and for the next second month or third month, we keep on preparing the communication based on the things that have worked for us in the first month. So rightly you have said that testing is the key for any campaign that we'll be doing.
Yes, I agree. And testing against your objectives as well, because you might go, oh wow, this video has gone viral, so many people have watched it. But if your objective is actually to get more clients, then watching it may not necessarily be that effective. Perhaps you want to see is like how many people have clicked on it, how many people have gone to your website during that campaign. So using the data outside of your social media to support that. So looking at your website traffic, because people may see your video here and then later go look at your website, but they may not have clicked from one to the other. So using the supporting data around it to help analyze what you're doing as well is really important.
Definitely. Now, so the audience have done the work that they have to do into the during and the post campaign. The important thing that even you are mentioning is about understanding our targets out there. So what do you think are the different KPIs that can be used to measure the success of any social media campaign?
Yeah. So there are so many different types of KPIs that you can measure. The key thing is that they need to feed back into your goals, feed back into your objectives, and feed back into your wider marketing and business strategy. And it's important to make sure that when you're setting a KPI, which is a key performance indicator for anyone who may not know, that is making sure that it's actually something measurable that you actually can count. Because people will go like, oh, I want to boost awareness. And then you go, okay, how are you going to measure this awareness? You can't just say, oh, I've got 5 awareness today. Like, that doesn't make sense. You've got to actually say, we're going to boost awareness by, awareness is going to be measured through how many views we're getting on our videos. Like, that is a measurable thing. And it can relate back to awareness. And so, there's so many different ones. So the key thing is like to measure your baseline before you start your campaign, when you're setting your goals and your KPI, setting yourself a realistic KPI. So you're not going to go, I have 2 followers. By the end of this campaign, I want 1 million followers. That may not be realistic. It could happen, but it may not be realistic. You want to make sure you're setting really realistic, measurable ones. And then what those KPIs are, they could be anything. They could be a growth in followers. And so that's why you need to measure at the beginning. You need to know how many followers you had, And so then you can measure at the end and you can actually see that percentage growth. It could be clicks through on your content. It could be views on videos. It could be shares. It could be, there's so many different things that it could be. But it's important to not be swayed by these other factors and these other shiny metrics and things that are going on, because they may not be that helpful. So, for example, a couple of years ago, we did a campaign for a not-for-profit charity to raise awareness and get donations and grow their email list. Well, we did grow their email list by 400 people, but the amount of donations didn't really change. And so we had to sit back and go, was that good? Was that bad? Why did that happen? I know we've grown our email list by 400 people, so we get a tick there, but are these actually the right type of people to be on our list if they actually haven't taken our call to action, which is to make a donation? So the end goal is the donation, and the growing the email list is just a way to get the donations. So it doesn't matter that we've grown our email list if our donations didn't actually increase it. So we had to then take a step back and go, was that a realistic KPI to set 400? Maybe we should have set a KPI of, say, 200 people, but there are more engaged people. It's quality over quantity.
Quantity, definitely.
Yeah, it's, sometimes it's fine to go, oops, okay, that wasn't quite right. It's all testing, it's all measuring. You've got to be able to take your learnings and refine it for the next time you go ahead and run a campaign.
Definitely. And one of the other KPIs that I guess we use is about getting the engagement, mainly in the terms of comments out there. Because when we say, let's say if we are running any contest out there, so what are the number of entries that we are getting upon? If we are posting any unique content or any contest or any other type of content, then what are the replies that we are getting out there? Because many a times, definitely, like you mentioned that there are some vanity metrics. So let's say, because even in social media, people generally assume that, okay, I have 1 million followers out there, they boast about it, but how many of them are active? Like when we post a single post, hardly, let's say, 7 or 8 people are liking that. So we cannot boast about that okay, we have 1 million followers if we are getting that. So we need more kind of engaged users. The more the engaged user, that will definitely be a part where we can set that, okay, yeah, now our campaign is on a success path.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
So you have, go ahead, I guess.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's a really good point. Sometimes people come to us and they go, I want to boost my followers. And we go, well, actually, we don't want to grow too quickly and just have people following us for the sake of following us, because if they're not active, and if they're not the right type of people for your business, then there's no point. People ask me about buying followers, buying follower lists, and I always say, no, like that. Followers are a vanity metric unless they are the right followers for you. It's just not worth doing it. Same thing, I think, like with comments. It's good to, sometimes you can actually measure the sentiment of a comment. Because, some people want to have lots of comments on their social media account and they don't care whether it's positive or negative or anything, because it boosts engagement. For example, a news forum, a news agent, like for example, a recent post I saw about a local news station here posted this really inflammatory statement about something that had happened recently, and the comments blew up. It had hundreds and hundreds of comments, and it was everyone getting in there and they were being angry and they were swearing and and for me, I'm like, oh my God, that's terrible. I would hate that to happen on my business page. But actually for them, that's what they want. They want more eyeballs on their content, and the more people, either they're angry or not angry, or it doesn't matter, it's just boosting that. So, but for a business, we don't want to have tons of comments if a lot of the comments are going to be negative comments. So it's really important to have a think about that in the wider context.
Definitely. So, Abby, I guess you have given a lot of advices today. Any last piece of advice that you would like to give to the audience?
Yeah, oh, thank you for asking. I think it's so great that you have this platform where people can learn from each other, because business is hard. It's hard to run a business. And it's wonderful that you're getting these little nuggets of wisdom from different people. But my advice would be, someone said this to me once, and it was said, it takes a long time to be an overnight success. So, that could mean anything, any which way you want to take that. But for me, it's especially when it comes to social media marketing, it can be a slow build of momentum, and you need to give yourself enough time to see proper results. You can't expect that you invest in your social media today and then tomorrow your business is doubled. Like, that's not going to happen. So give yourself enough time, give yourself permission just to try things out, test it out, see the full campaign through before you write off whether social media was the right thing to do for you. And my second thing is, my whole flavor of this episode is always be thinking about the measurement of your campaign, because if it can't be measured, then it won't be successful, and you are just basically fumbling around in the dark. If you can measure it, then you know what you need to do next time and what not to do next time.
Definitely. So with this, now we have come to the end of today's episode. It was very insightful discussion that we had with you, Abby, and you have given a lot of advice that will definitely help our audience to plan the campaign in a better. So thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to have you again on our show and discuss more about social media, because it's a wide ocean that we are into. So there are a lot of topics, and I would love to have you again and discuss on some other topic.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a wonderful chat, and I wish you all the success with this lovely podcast.
Thank you.